Today I'm sharing a review and a test drive of the all-new 2025 Audi Q5. It is really important to see if your tires are overinflated. This one, it's like one solid piece. Regardless of the exterior, whether you like the exterior or not. And you have real exhaust tips, unlike the previous generation. Regardless of the color of the body of this vehicle, it will always be the gray plastic. From the ergonomics perspective, this is not very convenient. Then you have additional display for the passenger. The camera itself swivels to the right, to the back. Welcome to my channel Roman Rides, and today I'm sharing a review and a test drive of the all-new 2025 Audi Q5, and I will show you all the features and quirks of this vehicle, obviously how it stacks up against competition. We'll review the pricing of this vehicle, we'll see how it drives and what's the difference between this one and the previous gen. Let's go. Alright, so 2025 Audi Q5. This is the top trim Prestige. These cars, they start to get to the dealership right now as of time of the recording of this video. So we are located here at Audi of Tampa in Florida. If you're looking for a new Audi vehicle, welcome to Audi of Tampa and ask Aras. I will add the details to the description. Again, it's courtesy of this great dealership. I'm not affiliated with that dealership. I'm just showing you the vehicle that I'm particularly interested in because I own Audi S5 B10 point half generation, and I wanted to take a look at the new generation of Audi vehicles and share what I think about this vehicle, technical specs, and maybe you're in the market for the new Q5. And so let's start from the looks of this car. This is the third generation of Audi Q5. It has been presented obviously earlier this year for European markets, but it just started to arrive here for the North American market, specifically the US market. So starting from the looks of this vehicle, first of all, it is really reminiscent of the previous generation. So Audi has done a great job keeping the car, the SUV that you're familiar with the previous generation, looking probably very similar, to my point of view, very similar to the previous generation. So in terms of proportions and the dimensions of the body, it's almost identical. So the only change is that the wheelbase is the same. The only change, the overall length of this vehicle is just about 1 inch longer, and it's about half to 1 inch wider, and that's about it. Otherwise, it is very similar to the previous generation. So the ground clearance of this car, because this is Prestige with air suspension, adaptive air suspension and adaptive dampers, you can switch between like the higher position, the lower position, and something in between. So, but the basic ground clearance for versions of Audi Q5 with regular coils and springs and passive dampers, it's 8.2 inches from the ground. With the Prestige package, which adds this air suspension, you can go higher, probably to like 8.5, probably up to 9 inches, something like that. Also, it gives you an ability to lower the rear end of this vehicle when you offloading or downloading something from the car or to the car, so you can lower the rear end of this vehicle. This is 20-inch rims. It is run flat, all-season tires. It is 5-spoke design. This is something that comes with Prestige package because basically the regular Audi wheels will be 19 or 18-inch wheels. With Prestige, you get this interesting 19 and 20. So 20 is not the basic package for the Prestige. It's still a separate charge of $800 around that. I will show you in the description and in the video later. So what I'd like to say is that this gray plastic insert, it is a functional air vent, but unfortunately, regardless of the color of the body of this vehicle, it will always be the gray plastic, which is really strange to me, especially considering that this car doesn't have an S-line. So currently there are no S-line models, only regular Q5. So this part will be gray always. So I don't think it matches great with the white color, which is Alpine Glacier White, something like that. It's also a separate charge for $595. And the big deal here with the new generation is that now you have the matrix design LED, digital LED lights, which means that you can change the pattern of the front headlights and of the tail lights separately in the multimedia system. I will show you in just a few seconds. So you can choose between 8 different configurations of the front headlights and the tail lights. As you can see, everything is LED here. You have cornering lights, you have a projector style LED lights, you have 360 camera, parking sensors all around, you have your adaptive cruise control radar here located in the bumper. And yeah, so I think the car has got more, swoopy lines instead of like more traditional and more, I would say, more aggressive style. It's got more probably calm down and toned down style. So there are more curves instead of straight lines in the design language. But again, this review is not about design of this car. This review is about mostly about technical details. So let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you think about this car. So also here, as you can see, you have the new taillights and the light bar which connects these two taillights. And again, you can change the pattern of these digital all LED lights in the menu. In the new MMI system, you have blacked out badges for Q5, Quattro is standard for 2025, and you have real exhaust tips, unlike the previous generation where you had like a fake exhaust tips. Now you have like a real exhaust tip, which is really nice to see. And also interesting part is that this plastic, this silver plastic, is also present here, like that air vent insert for the front bumper. This is present here regardless of the color of the vehicle. As you can see, the lower part of the bumper is body colored like this. Then you have the black insert, which is similar and basically the same across all trim levels. And then you have the silver part, which is here regardless of the body color. So again, you have to choose wisely, and again, you have to probably build in the configurator to see how these silver parts actually match the body color. You have keyless access on all 4 doors, you have silver roof rails, and you have a panoramic sunroof, which is optional equipment in lower trims, but comes standard here with the Prestige model, which also, as you can see, has a projector heads-up display. Projector heads-up display, and that's pretty much it. You have this glossy black insert on the lower door panel. So from the design standpoint, let me know, this is not S-Line, that's why you have some chrome pieces around the windows, which is really different. And here, for example, we have the S-Line, the previous generation. As you can see, this S-Line previous generation doesn't have the black optics package. So everything is chrome here, even though this is the S-Line with slightly aggressive bumpers and all that stuff. You see the badge S-Line, also chrome window trim. And so this is previous gen and this is the new gen. It's not S-Line, but I think it looks not bad. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Let's go to the technical specs. Under the hood of the 2025, the new generation Audi Q5. First of all, I'd like to say that there is no more like entry basic trim level, which was called 40 TFSI. So now 45 TFSI is standard for the Audi Q5. Actually, do they still call it 45 TFSI? They call it just Q5 TFSI, so no more like 40, 45. Why? Because they dropped the entry-level 40 TSI engine, which was like 2-liter turbocharged 201 horsepower, and now the standard equipment is all-wheel drive Quattro. I'm not sure actually about whether it's a real Quattro with a center differential with the torsion type, like for example more performance models like SQ5 in the previous B9.5 generation, but at least it says Quattro with no Ultra edition. So I hope this is the real Quattro, but I think that this is actually the Ultra, but they just removed that from the description. Again, without too much nerdy stuff here. So this is 2-liter longitudinally mounted engine, turbocharged engine, producing 268 horsepower, and it's around 290 pound-feet of torque. I will add the numbers in Newton meters and in pound-feet of torque as well. So it is mated to 7-speed dual-clutch wet robotic transmission, which is called S-Tronic. So the fuel efficiency is 25 miles per gallon. It is 22 city and 30 miles per gallon highway. And this is not a mild hybrid, unlike the previous generation. This is purely the gas engine, the gas powered, so no mild hybrid, no electric batteries, whatever. So no 48-volt system running some stuff here. It's purely a gas-powered engine. I think this is a nice thing about Audi, so you don't have to worry about this additional electrical components throughout the car and the battery and all that stuff. If something fails, you don't want to worry about that. You can just jumpstart that right away and you're on the road again. So there is another option that's already available in some dealership. It is SQ5, and unlike the previous generation, like that body I just showed you, the new body SQ5, the new generation SQ5 comes with the updated engine, which is also 3.0 EA839 engine, which is V6 twin turbo. It's got the new turbocharger with variable geometry, and so that car delivers 362 horsepower, which is like around 15 up from the previous generation, from 349 if I'm not mistaken, but mated with S-Tronic dual clutch wet robotic transmission. Unlike the previous generation in that body SQ5 that had a ZF conventional torque converter automatic. So a lot of changes actually. And in terms of the engine changes, there are so many interesting technical upgrades done to the SQ5 compared to SQ5, the previous generation, as well as some of the technical changes of the Q5 engine as well. So it all sounds like it's all the same, but there are so many different minor changes, like fuel pressure changes, geometry of the turbocharger, the new intake, the new exhaust, the cam lifters, cam phases, and so many different parts. But I'm not going to dive into that too deep because it's super nerdy stuff. What you need to know is that two options, 2-liter and 3-liter V6 for the SQ5. Fully independent suspension, 5-link in the back, 4-link in the up front. It is double wishbone front suspension. As you can see, everything is aluminum. It's gained some weight, additional weight compared to the previous generation. If you're talking about two Prestige models, the difference is about 150, 160 pounds difference. This vehicle obviously is slightly heavier than the previous generation. So you see air suspension chambers, they're visible there, right behind the wheel. You have dual double wishbone suspension, aluminum knuckles, aluminum upper control arm, lower control arm, and lower control arms in the back, aluminum as well. Unfortunately, because this is not S-Line, you don't have like fixed piston calipers, like fixed like 6 piston calipers, for example, like in the previous generation, although that car actually features that, but maybe not 6, maybe 4 piston caliper. This is like a floating caliper. So, and with the SQ5, the new generation, unfortunately, I have already seen that car. Unfortunately, even the SQ5 of the new gen comes with the floating brake caliper, which is like a downgrade personally to me. But aside from that, all-wheel drive, it is full-time all-wheel drive. If it is Ultra, then it means there is a clutch pack in the back. If it's still the real Quattro, then there is no clutch pack, there is a center torsion-like differential. So let's go and see the interior of this car. Cabin, the new interior, the first thing you pay attention to is this panel on the right, on the door panel.
Can you repeat, please?
Oh, so Audi is listening to me. So first of all, they moved the lock buttons, the door lock buttons here to this panel. It's piano black, it's like capacitive touch / haptic feedback button. So what you can do with this panel, you can control the door locks, the lighting of this vehicle, ADA, low beam on, front all-weather lighting on, off, rear fog lights, for example, power folding mirrors, adjustable mirrors. No, please shut up. So you can power fold mirrors here, adjust mirrors here. You can have 2 memory positions, and you have child locks as well. So I don't know why, but interesting fact, take a look at this panel. You see something is missing here, the door locks, but they're still present here, as you can see. So Audi actually produces the same part number, same basically, you see, but they moved because of this new like fancy panel. They moved this door lock buttons from here to here, and it is very unfortunate because even though like all automatic windows up and downs, you don't have to hold anything, but as soon as you get into the car, the problem you face that you want to grab the grab handle, but you cannot do that. So you have to, I don't know, somehow fiddle and fumble with your palm in order to grab the handle and then actually close the door. So I think from the ergonomics perspective, this is not very convenient. So it's a drawback to myself because I found myself constantly trying to grab to the handle, the grab handle, but it's not here. So you have to dive behind the window switches panel to actually grab it. I don't think it's a good design standpoint to me. Actually, about the design standpoint, about quality of materials, personally to me, I think that Audi cut some corners here, even though this one looks as a fake wood, but actually this is the real wood inlays, like real natural wood grains here, which is really nice, which is cool. Then you have like leatherette covering all the dashboard and some of the central console parts as well. That the steering wheel, this plastic part, the structure of the plastic insert of the center of the steering wheel, it looks a bit cheaper to me, but let me know in the comment section what do you guys think. I think it's a reminiscent of Audis from 90s or 80s. This is when they had the steering wheels, specifically this center insert. Still, they have not moved the adaptive cruise stock switches to one of the spokes of the steering wheel, so you still have to use this additional stock for the adaptive cruise control. You have your paddle shifters for a 7-speed dual clutch robotic transmission, and basically the same stocks for your blinkers and your windshield wipers. Basically they remain the same as the previous generation. So a lot of cheaper plastic, I would say. Even though you have Bang & Olufsen 3D system, obviously you have extended interior lighting because it comes, the Prestige comes, trim level comes with additional ambient lighting. When you turn on your hazard lights, you see that there are like green indicators on the edges of the dashboard showing that the flashers are on. And now you have got the new infotainment system. This is new MMI system. Probably it's no longer or maybe Audi calls it MMI, but the thing is it has migrated from something that Audi had before, like MMI 3 proprietary system, to Google Android Automotive, which means you have Google Assistants, you have Google Voice Assistant, you have Maps, and it should be faster, but sometimes it lags. And for example, I want to switch on from automatic climate control, which is 3-zone climate control, to like manual, and it takes like a few seconds to think about that, and something probably is off here. So sometimes it lags, and I don't know, sometimes it takes a few seconds until the menu is fully bufferized, or whatever you call it in computer term. But it's got wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay, some quick access menu items similar to what you have in BMW ID 8.5, for example. So you have a quick access to the car settings. It is split between 4 tabs here: displays, lights, service, and more. Displays, you can configure the display with information, not what information, but the brightness of the display. Then you have adjustable heads-up display, brightness, height, display rotation, and display context. Then in the light section, you can configure interior lighting. You can choose between a few ambient, interior ambient lighting colors. Then you can switch to the exterior lighting. This is where you have these 8 patterns, so you can cycle through all of them, and depending on your mode, depending on your whatever you would like, you can set like a different set, and you have 8 of them. So basically every day of the week you can have a different pattern, a different image of the LED digital headlights and tail lights as well, which is really interesting. And it's a quirk, like a feature quirk. You have 3-zone climate control. Because of Prestige, you have heated and ventilated seats. I'd like to say that heated seats, this is standard equipment across all the lines, across all the different models. And then you have a heated steering wheel as well. Heads-up display, it is colorful right now, so it's like a step forward in some of that, in that regard, in technical regard. But I don't like the technical stuff to be for the sake of the technical stuff. So if it's something that really, you know, simplifies the ergonomics, improves the ergonomics, simplifies the operation and communication with the car, that's cool. So you can use the voice commands actually to lower temperature and bump up to temperature. And you can, for example, if there is a passenger, then the system can see there is a passenger, and the passenger says, please lower the temperature. It will lower the temperature for the passenger only, not for the driver. Even though you may have everything in sync, then you have additional display for the passenger. I think it's a gimmicky thing, but let me know in the comment section what do you think. You have the range, the gas tank range, you have the obviously the map and navigation here. Unfortunately, I cannot project this map image onto the digital cluster, so I have switched between different views, and the only views you have is just this view with some additional information that you can show, and that's pretty much it, guys. So it's kind of limited compared to what was available before. Road signs recognition obviously is available here. And what else? Your start stop button here, drive select. So there are some haptic feedback touch capacitive buttons available here on the menu. I don't know why it doesn't work, you know, so it took like almost 10 seconds. So you can cycle through individual, dynamic, comfort, off-road modes, and you can actually manually adjust the height of the air suspension here from individual. You can change the steering, air suspension, driver assistance layout. I think that along with the adaptive air suspension comes adaptive dampers as well here. That's my guess, at least. You can defeat your traction control system, hazard lights, defeat the auto start stop. You have to use USB Type-C, wireless charger there, and a lot of piano black plastic, glossy piano black plastic. It's already dirty, a lot of fingerprints and all that stuff. And this is how you switch between gears. So you see, it is a rocker here. So you slide it forward, you slide it backward for the drive, slightly for the neutral, slightly forward, and then all the way forward for the reverse. And then the camera itself, it has like a motorized swiveling camera. So this Audi Q5, as you can see, the car is static, it's standing still. but there is a swivel function of the camera. So the camera itself swivels to the right, to the back. It has camera washer as well. So I'll get back to parking. Parking is just these two, just this one button, cup holders, and then you have something under the central armrest. It is adjustable depending on how high you want to be, but it's not extendable. It has a power operated steering wheel, tilt and telescopic function. Obviously you have power operated seats. The seats themselves, they are different from the basic lower trims like Premium, Premium Plus. Unfortunately, don't have adjustable headrest. So it's integrated headrest, you cannot adjust it by the height. Slightly more bolsters, bolster support, and that's pretty much it. It's perforated obviously because it is ventilated seats. So let's go to the back. And because this car has a comfort entry mode, so that I can have more space. Also, one interesting thing here is that this car has got electronic locks. So, but you may ask like, hey Roman, what are you talking about? Because it's still a physical traditional handle. That's the thing about this car. Even though it has traditional physical handle, still there is electronic lock. How do I know that? Because I tried to grab the handle too fast and it didn't unlock the car. So I figured this car has electronic locks, but it has retained traditional style handle. So you have sunshades for the rear passenger, and also you can slide. You see, you can completely fold the back seats down, and you can adjust this seat so you can slide backward and forward. This feature probably is not available for other cars in this segment. You have AC vents, 2 additional USB Type-C chargers, and heated rear seats, which is not available for Premium and Premium Plus, only for Prestige. Third zone climate control, a huge hum because there is a drive shaft propelling the rear axle, obviously the leather, and 2 cup holders with the central armrest. You have a panoramic sunroof, which you can open up actually for the ventilation. And then you have power operated trunk. Obviously, I don't know why it doesn't go all the way up. You have to adjust that in the settings. You have nets, you have carpeted sides of this trunk, and you can lower the rear end of the car because of the air suspension. And because this car has got run flat tires, you don't have like a spare tire, but you have this organizer underfloor, and you have the subwoofer for your Bang & Olufsen system, and 2 buttons, close and lock and arm the car. A few neat features here is Audi Q5 TFSI Quattro. Again, saying Quattro makes me think this has retained the original Quattro with center differential, like Torsen type differential. Let's talk about the pricing of this vehicle. So this is top trim Prestige, delivered to Audi of Tampa. Again, thanks Audi of Tampa. So the base price is $52,200. So Prestige starts from 60 something. So glacier white metallic color, $595. Prestige package itself, it is $8,400. 20-inch wheels, it's separately $800. So LED headlights, digital DRL signatures, heated steering wheel, hands-on detection, heated rear seats, headlight washers, heads-up display, dynamic interaction light, Bang & Olufsen acoustic front glass. It is dual pane side windows, but just for the fronts, not for the back windows. Just for the front windows, dual pane acoustic laminated, as well as the front windshield, manual rear side window sunshades, MMI passenger display screen, also a part of the Prestige package, panoramic sunroof, part of the Prestige, top view camera 360, also part of Prestige, adaptive air suspension as well. And you have Audi guard protection, cargo cover, and Audi beam rings, which means there are some projectors showing the Audi logo, like puddle lights, for example. And so the total price, $64,250, which is a lot. The base price is like $6,000 or $7,000 more than the previous generation, which started from $45,000. But I have to say that car was the basic engine, 2.0, 2-liter turbocharged, 201 horsepower. That specific trim has been dropped. It's no longer available. So that's how you have like a higher trim right away from the get-go. That's the price difference. I don't think it's about tariffs, because obviously this car was marketed and produced, and the pricing was discussed probably via I don't know, between the management teams long before I think the tariffs actually kicked in. So in my point of view, I think it is generally how prices are nowadays, how they are priced nowadays. It is expensive, inflation and all that stuff. And this car is being imported from Mexico. So the final assembly point is San Jose, Chiapa, Mexico. Engine from Mexico, transmission from Germany. Mexico parts 73%, 24% Germany, 2% US, Canadian parts. And so $64,250. Let's take a look and let's see how this car drives and let's sum it up.
Time
On the highway?
we can either go on the highway. There's actually like a nice test drive route with a bunch of turns and everything. Do you want to do that, or
Yeah, let's do
go
that.
to the left? Yeah.
And interestingly enough, Audi was like the pioneer in this digital cockpit, starting from like TT, R8, but then somehow BMW actually caught up and actually suppressed that, unfortunately. But now they're keeping up with those.
Oh yeah. The one thing that the Q5
Turn left here?
Yes, turn left here. The Q5 and the A5s don't have the augmented.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
display.
Yep. I know during the first test drives, it is really important to see if your tires are overinflated or not, because sometimes the car has been sitting on the lot like under direct sunlight and the tires is just overinflated by themselves, right?
Well, we park our cars normally
In the shadow? Okay.
So we're fine with that. But obviously, as you can see, some of our cars, yeah, we have outside. But majority of our cars are parked in the garage.
Okay. So interestingly enough, I still feel some of these bumps and road imperfections on the steering wheel.
You're in dynamic, your air suspension, you're not in comfort right now.
Oh, let's do comfort actually. Alright, да, сейчас переключились в комфорт, до этого были в dynamic. Let's see, да, стало мягче. Yeah, it gets after. Definitely.
We're gonna be going through a very bumpy road. Yeah, you're gonna get off here.
Мне нравится, как показывается вся обстановка на дороге, то есть машина следит полностью за разметками, за соседними полосами, но, правда, мотоцикл он не видит. Слушайте, ну мягче стало однозначно. Супер мягенько. Хотя машина и на обычной пружинной подвеске тоже очень мягкая. So where are we going now?
Okay, you're gonna stay in this lane.
Okay.
And then we're gonna take a left. Don't be afraid to brake hard too. Feel how well our cars brake.
Actually, yeah. The brakes clamp immediately.
So, one thing too. You know when you have your adaptive cruise control on?
Yep.
If it does, let's just say you pass out, right? This wheel, if you don't touch it, or it's not gonna censor you, it's gonna give you 2 or 3 warnings.
Okay.
And then it's gonna go red. Then it's gonna jolt your
Seat
belt like really, really hard to wake
you up. Yep.
And then if that doesn't do it, the car will brake 2 times. And then if that doesn't work either, it's gonna turn
It overrides
your
the
hazard
control.
lights
Okay.
and then slowly slow down.
Gotcha. So it's gonna save you no matter what, right?
Yes.
Basically. And still they kept the cruise control stock on the left.
Yes.
I wish they had it somewhere here, to be honest.
I honestly like it like that.
Oh, really?
It's easier for me.
Okay. Interesting. You know, so many people, so many different point of views.
Exactly.
It always like
You're
that.
gonna take a right.
Да, друзья, время.
Right at this light.
Then we go. Друзья, такая плавная, мягенькая машина в комфорте. Супер. Я вот уже потестил машину на пружинах, и она тоже мягкая. А вот на пневме она еще более такая. Вау.
Left at this leg slide.
Окей.
Alright, so at this speed bump, I want you to go 30, 35. Just put 2 fingers on your steering wheel and watch how the steering wheel doesn't move.
Смотрим на лежачий полицейский. Yeah. So the car's posture remains like as flat as possible, right?
Yes,
Gotcha.
exactly. All right, let's put it in off-road. I want to see how it handles these bumps on off-road.
Does it have adaptive dampers?
Adaptive.
I'm assuming yes.
Probably.
Along with their suspension.
Yes. Or maybe off-road isn't really more comfortable. It's just, I don't know. I've never driven any of the cars on off-road.
Mostly it's about stability control and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Друзья, смотрим лежачий полицейский. Рулевое колесо вообще не двигается. Yeah, the steering wheel remains still. Let's put back to comfort. Слушайте, машина никуда не кренит, ничего. То есть очень четкая постановка на дороге. Идет заданным курсом, недостаточной поворачиваемости особо я не заметил. Но опять-таки скорость маленькая, само собой. And one question, I noticed it says acoustic laminated windshield in front windows. Is it for Prestige only, right? It's not it doesn't come with acoustic glass on lower trims like Premium Plus.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
That's a good question.
I will check that.
Yeah, I'm still learning about these, This is literally the first one that we got.
Good thing I can edit it afterwards.
Yeah.
In the post.
They're gonna be like, man, how's this guy selling Audis and he doesn't know?
No, it's always like a learning curve anyways, right? So you cannot know everything about all these cars. There's so many different models.
Yeah.
Now
No, I think it might be on the Premium Plus.
But not Premium, probably.
Not Premium, no.
But now they all come standard with all-wheel drive and 2-liter higher output to 68 horsepower. Unlike the previous gen, it had the basic version of 201 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I wonder if this has this. Hey, Audi.
Yes, please?
Turn my temperature to 60 degrees.
I am setting the temperature to 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
You can tell it to do.
Oh, nice.
Your cooling seats, heated seats, and notice how it did mine and not yours because it knows that I'm talking in this seat.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting.
Even
though before it was in sync?
Mm-hmm.
After you talked to her?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Changed it.
Cool. I know that on lower trims you also have ambient lighting, but it's limited to just a few places in the cabin. Yeah, Premium.
You don't get anything. You just get the normal white lights.
Or maybe white lights.
Premium, that's it.
I will
Premium
check.
Plus, you get the ambient lighting.
Okay, gotcha.
Like on a Q6 Premium, same thing. It's just there's no lighting in that car. There's no ambient lighting.
Угу. Тоже выйдет видео, друзья, я вам покажу отдельно премиум на пружинах. То там, по-моему, есть освещение в салоне, амбиентная подсветка. Слушайте, с точки зрения драйва, комфорта, то максимально комфортный, мягкий, тихий автомобиль. Супер плавный, ни сверчков, никаких скрипов, ничего абсолютно. I'm really highly impressed. There are no squeaks and rattles, nothing. I mean, the quality of assembly is top notch. Even though it's built in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to me. Sometimes, like, I tested a few Chevrolet vehicles, and oh my God, the cabin was so squeaky, so rattly. There were like huge gaps between different panels, so yeah, it really depends of the quality control. Like, if you really care about quality control and all that aspects, so no matter where you assemble your car, if it's Mexico or Germany, the quality control system should be the same, right?
Yeah.
It will capture all defects if there are any during the assembly process. Hopefully you'll get the Q5 sometime soon.
Yeah.
Because that one switched from 8-speed automatic to 7-speed dual clutch. and it's got more powerful. And interestingly enough, this is no longer a mild hybrid. It's just pure gas.
Pure gas, yep. A5s and the Q5s are going to be the only ones that are pure gas. Every other car that comes out is going to be mild hybrid.
Okay.
That's what they told us in Atlanta.
Uh-huh. Are we going back to the highway?
Yeah, we can go back, or we can go back down. What are you more comfortable? You want to go back on the highway? You want
Let's do highway.
All right, yeah, we can go back down on the highway.
One highway pool. Hey buddy, in a wrong lane. Now left.
Now nowhere.
Stay where you are. Well, it is so composed. I mean, these German cars like BMWs and Audis, they have the feeling of the solid, like one piece
Yes.
car. Like
Yes.
nothing rattles, like the steering wheel is the part of the car.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a rock, you know? This
Yes.
interesting feeling that the car is like the whole piece of something.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you drive a car and you feel like, oh my God, the steering wheel is kind of separated from everything else. Like you turn your wheels and you don't know where your wheels turn to.
Yeah.
This one, it's like one solid piece. Regardless of the exterior, whether you like the exterior or not, that's totally different question.
Yes.
I'm talking about like driving, dynamics, riding comfort.
Once we get the black optic on these, I think it'll start selling like more. You know.
Actually, one good question. I know that the S line is no longer available for the US market,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're buying SQ5,
Yes.
which is kind of weird because Europe, they get S line versions.
You know what's gonna happen?
What?
They're gonna make the same car for the next 2, 3, 4 years. You get what I'm saying? So they need something to come out with soon. Like
Okay.
Later on. So later on, they'll bring it into the U.S. market.
Oh, okay.
You
I
get what
hope
I'm
so.
saying?
Yep.
It's just like right now. Why
So-
wouldn't they come out with the cars with the black
Yeah,
optic?
just to get going as soon as possible, right?
Exactly, and they want to test the waters right now with these
Uh-huh,
cars.
gotcha. I'm just trying to remember like my test drive of the Q7.
Mhm.
It's even softer than Q7.
Yeah.
The new air ride suspension.
Q7 is getting a nice redesign next year.
Oh, really? Like the complete overhaul?
It'll debut next year, and then it'll release 2027.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's long due because it was presented back in 2015. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
10 years with 2 refreshes and still in production.
Do you want to know why Audi do that?
Why?
They sell.
Yeah.
Because doing
Don't change something if it's not broken, right?
Exactly.
Something like
and
that.
It costs billions of dollars to redo everything.
Right.
And they're like, people are still buying the cars. We could update the technology a little, but everyone likes the look of them, you know?
All right, summing up, 2025 Audi Q5, all new generation, the 3rd generation. Finally, we've been waiting for this moment like for almost like 9-10 years now. And I'd like to say that from everyday usage, from your everyday driving scenarios, like coming from work to home, picking up your significant others from the airport, driving anywhere, basically with this Prestige trim makes you ride very enjoyable and comfortable and super quiet. So regardless of the quality of materials of this cabin, what you need to know if you're in the market for one of them is that it is extremely quiet. There are no squeaks, no rattles, nothing. It is super quiet interior, courtesy of dual pane glass, acoustic glass, like front and side glasses, not the backs, as well as really silent tires. And the packaging of the car itself, even though there are some gaps here and there between the panels, but nothing squeaks, nothing rattles, super quiet. The suspension is extremely soft. Because of the Aras suspension, I have already driven the vehicle with regular coil and springs and passive dampers. That car is already super soft. This car adds to the super soft suspension, which means that you go over some bumps and road imperfections, you almost do not feel anything. If you are talking about Prestige model with air suspension in the comfort mode. But the air suspension, aside from the cushy and comfiness of the suspension itself being very cushion, being very softly sprung, the air suspension itself adds like the body posture. So the body posture means that the car remains straight and remains composed with the same level of the body, basically regardless of any bumps, any road imperfection. So what I'm talking about is that Some cars are really softly sprung, but they lean a lot, they rock and pitch, the body is wishy-washy all around, all over the place on the road. But it is softly sprung. Here in this specific case, it is softly sprung, but the body posture, the body is composed, really composed, and you notice that immediately going over something. And I drove this like in these twisty roads, you see, yeah, the speed was low, but anyways, you could notice that immediately, that the car posture is great. So this is what I really like about this car. It's not about racing, it's not about quality of materials, right? It's about the riding comfort, it's about quietness, it's about having no squeaks and rattles here. That's the most important, I'm assuming, for you guys if you're in the market for one of these vehicles. So again, back to the exterior of this car. It is a questionable exterior, and maybe for some of you it's controversial if you're coming from Audi car. I personally own Audi S5 B9.5 2024. I will be making video about that as well. But again, this is very personal taste. I mean, a lot of people, they think it's looking good. Some people, they think it's looking ugly because it's no longer menacing, it's no longer aggressive and stuff like that. But it's up to you guys. I just tried to show you what I like about this car, and objectively that this car has got more expensive, but at the same time it's got more powerful, and it's got some features maybe you're looking for in a brand new 2025 Audi Q5. In terms of the plastic and all that stuff, BMW X3 also has a lot of cheap plastic on the inside, so that car is no different in that regard. Maybe Mercedes-Benz comes with a slightly better materials. I'm not sure about that, guys. So let me in the comment section, what do you think about this car? Would you buy this one over the new BMW X3 2025, or maybe Mercedes-Benz GLC? Again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button. See you next time.